like their food, their wine. But French cars can be a bit weird.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the brand new Grand Tour special, Carnage à Trois. This has just been released today on Amazon Prime. And as you know, if you follow my content at all, I'm a big fan of the Grand Tour, as I was a big fan when these guys did Top Gear. So much so that I have my own playlist on the channel of all the Grand Tour content that I have covered, and I've covered all the series that they've done and all the specials that they've done so far. I really do enjoy the chemistry that these guys have, and I always really look forward to any new content that goes up on Amazon. And these are essentially partly the main reason that I have an Amazon Prime account. Because I just enjoy watching their content, and I will rewatch quite a lot of it too. Now this time it's the second lockdown special. Now the last one was a few months ago, and it was Lockdown. That was the name of it. And this one is Carnage à Trois, and it's French themed. And the guys say at the beginning that they are seeking to answer that age-old question, what is the matter with the French? Which is the question that many of us in the UK ask ourselves quite often. Now, this is meant, this episode, as a love letter to French cars in a lot of ways. It's very much tongue-in-cheek, as these guys do so very well. It is very entertaining and highly amusing, this episode. However, what I would say is it is not structured as a usual special. The usual specials have been structured in the usual way, in a sense of there is a theme. They've got 3 cars or boats, because they've done a boat special, and then they'll go trekking across the world on lots of different adventures. Obviously, they couldn't do that. They already did the lockdown special where they went up to Scotland and things like that in the huge American cars. There's not an awful lot they could have done, I don't think, in regards to ideas for programs in this country. So while this doesn't feel like a typical special, it feels more like an episode of the Grand Tour when it was actually a series rather than just a series of specials. So there may be a tinge of disappointment from some. There was a little bit from me, because it didn't follow the similar format, but after watching the trailer, I kind of suspected that this is obviously what it was going to be. But it doesn't change the fact that what we get here is a lot of fun, and it is very entertaining. Now, initially, we see the guys picking like 3 different French cars that they quite like or enjoy, and they give us a little bit of a tour of those cars and the unique aspects of these cars. And what they're trying to get across here is that, you know, French cars and French design is at times seriously flawed, but undeniably, you know, quite entertaining and fun at the same time. The endeavour to poke fun at France and a lot of the different laws and rules over in France, and things on the road, like the way that they handle their roundabouts in France as differently than anywhere else in the world, and they try and practice that in this country, and, you know, it doesn't go down well and they get a lot of abuse. They cover the fact that the French don't have, or they've never designed like a 4 before, like the rest of the car manufacturers in the world. So they decide to go trekking up the hills in 3 normal French cars, which is quite fun and entertaining. They review a Megane in the style of a French philosophist, which was quite good. They endeavour to prove the ride quality of a Citroen, because they've got legendary ride comfort. A lot of French cars, but this one in particular. And I think it was the same car that Jeremy turned into a camper van years ago on Top Gear. It certainly looked the same. So they attempted to prove how the ride quality of this car by going across some cobbles while the other 2 were trying to defuse a bomb in the back. Yes, we know, all set up, all that kind of stuff, but it was still fun and entertaining. My favourite part of the episode, they had a hot hatchback race. They all had a hatchback each, and then there were other people on the team as well as Abe who returned to have this hot hatch race, all French cars, and they followed like French racing rules. So they initially stopped after, I don't even think they'd done a lap, to have some lunch and a nap, and then they carried on with the race, and then they had to stop it again because they were on strike and rioting, again poking fun at the French who seem to riot or strike at the drop of a hat. As usual, they've got the usual inventive slogans on the cars and the jumpsuits that when you look at them from a certain angle or just when they open a door or one side of the jumpsuit, it's got rude words and all that kind of stuff. They've been doing that on Top Gear and Grand Tour for years, and it's always amusing to see them continue that tradition. And then they finish with a real classic French car that they really, really love, even though it's seriously flawed. The Citroën SN, I believe, that Jeremy and Richard will kind of drive about and poke a bit of fun at, but still admit that they love. And then the show finishes really with them trying to catapult a French car they absolutely hate back to France. And as you can imagine, that doesn't go according to plan. So there's lots here to actually watch and enjoy. There's loads of different aspects. Like I say, it's all fun. It's all tongue-in-cheek stuff. They do admit that they, generally speaking, love French cars, but there are some French cars that they really don't love. And I do remember from years gone by on Top Gear and things like that, they've always had a lot to say about French cars. So it was nice to see this. It was a good episode. It was entertaining. But like I say, don't go into this episode expecting to get the usual Grand Tour special. This is structured slightly differently. It's more like a typical episode of a Grand Tour. So I think it's only just over an hour long, so it's not as long as the normal specials either. But you will definitely be entertained if you're a fan of these guys. The chemistry's still there. There's a lot to enjoy. Yes, a lot of it's structured and set up and stuff like that, but it's entertaining and it's fun, and I enjoyed it. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.